NASCAR fans called him greedy. Then he did this. It is 10:16 p.m. on August 15th. The checkered flag has just fallen at Richmond Raceway. A driver rips his belts off before the car even stops rolling, sprints past every camera and every reporter, and heads straight for a plane. 900 miles away, in Knoxville, Iowa, more than 16,000 people are not watching a race. They are staring at a single blinking dot on a flight tracker. That dot decides whether a $200,000 prize goes to a driver who was never supposed to be eligible for it in the first place, and a large share of the people watching that dot did not want him to make it. That driver is Kyle Larson, the number 5 Hendrick Motorsports Cup Series driver, and also one of the most successful dirt sprint car racers alive. On Saturday, August 15th, his NASCAR schedule and the 65th Knoxville Nationals, sprint car racing's biggest event, landed on the exact same night, 900 miles apart. It was the first time since 2016 that his Cup obligations had directly collided with Knoxville Week. The Nationals winner would collect $200,000. Larson had a Cup race to finish first, with almost no realistic path to the biggest sprint car race in the country afterward. Before we get into how this actually played out, a quick note: this channel is NASCAR Racing World, and we are closing in on 500 subscribers. If breakdowns like this are the kind of racing content you want more of, hitting subscribe genuinely helps this channel keep going, and your support directly shapes what gets covered next. Larson did not just enter the Nationals knowing he probably could not start it. He won Thursday's preliminary night and claimed the pole position for a race almost everyone, including his own team, assumed he would never actually drive. That decision is where the argument starts. Why would a driver take the best starting spot on the grid for a race he likely could not attend? The answer his team built was a backup plan called Start and Park. Crew member Trevor Canales was set to climb into Larson's car, take the green flag from the pole, and pull into the pits, collecting a $15,000 payout without racing competitively. There was precedent. Canales had run the identical plan for driver Rico Abreu back in 2015, confirmed directly by Knoxville Raceway officials to reporter Matt Weaver. That precedent did not calm the criticism. It added fuel to it. Matt Weaver, at Matt Weaver RA, we had this happen with Rico back in 2015. They had a crew guy sit in the car, start the race at the rear. The financial math made the criticism sharper. Larson's team, Silva Motorsports, races a fraction as often as full-time dirt outfits, so every purse matters more. By Saturday, before he had turned a single competitive lap in the main event, Larson's Knoxville week had already produced roughly $12,000 from Thursday's qualifying win, $13,000 from the Capitani Classic, $21,000 from the Front Row Challenge, and the $15,000 Start and Park payout, over $200,000 banked from a week most fans assumed he would barely participate in. The counterargument from fans was specific, not vague. A full-time dirt racer, someone who runs Knoxville every week without a private jet or a cup ride, could have used that pole to actually compete for the win. This is not a new fight. Reporter Bob Pockrass faced the same backlash covering an earlier Larson double-duty collision, when he explained the scheduling math on X. Bob Pockrass, at Bob Pockrass, Kyle Larson needs to make the A-main to be able to get from Richmond back to Knoxville on Saturday night. A fan reply, quoted by Sportskeeda, give him a waiver. That's why they call him Young Waiver. That nickname, Young Waiver, resurfaced again this year as the same argument repeated itself. Larson's own response midweek was calm, and almost invited the criticism rather than deflecting it. Kyle Larson, if they want to change the rule, that's totally fine. Do whatever they got to do, really. He also laid out his own reasoning for entering a race he expected to miss. Kyle Larson, I came here with the goal of winning the prelim night and being a high point guy, and we did that. Saturday's forecast in Iowa showed almost no chance of rain. Larson accepted the outcome. He was not racing to win the Nationals. He was racing for a check his backup driver would collect on his behalf. Then the forecast was wrong. At Richmond, Larson qualified 30th, fell a lap down early, and spent most of the night grinding through the mid-pack. Nothing about the run looked like a storybook setup. In Iowa, rain started falling before hot laps even began, eventually pushing the delay to roughly 4 hours. With laps still running at Richmond, crew chief Cliff Daniels came over the radio. Cliff Daniels, Knoxville has not started hot laps yet, they're way behind, just so you know. Kyle Larson, Knoxville. Cliff Daniels, yeah, we're working on a plan for you. Larson had reportedly refused to even ask about Iowa's status for most of the week, not wanting to look distracted from the Cup race. Daniels had to convince him to let the team explore it at all. Cliff Daniels, he kept telling me no. But we were persistent because we knew that if we get him there, he can probably do something special. The irony sat there without needing commentary. The same pole entry fans had criticized a week earlier was the only reason this plan was possible at all. The checkered flag fell at Richmond at 10:16 p.m. Eastern Time. Larson finished 6th, his best result since June. He was in the air by 10:57 p.m., wheels up in under 30 minutes from climbing out of the stock car. The flight, tail number N501KL, covered roughly 118 minutes to Pella, Iowa, the closest airport to Knoxville, with food and hydration loaded so he could recover mid-flight instead of prepping. More than 16,000 people tracked that single plane on Flight Radar 24, and Knoxville Raceway put the live tracker on the venue's own video board. Matt Weaver, at Matt Weaver RA, Knoxville Raceway just put pole sitter Kyle Larson's flight tracker on the big screen. Fans going wild. Matt Weaver, at Matt Weaver RA, I think we are all going to remember this Knoxville Nationals for a long, long time. Told about the 16,000 number tracking his flight, Larson's own reaction was dry. Kyle Larson, it's kind of cool. I figured someone would be tracking Donald Trump or Taylor Swift or something. He landed, received a police escort to the track, and arrived before the B main had even finished, with 0 hot laps and 0 practice in the car. He started on the pole and led all 50 laps of the A main, his 4th Knoxville Nationals title. Runner-up Sheldon Hautenchild said afterward he was glad Larson made it back, because if he had to lose, he wanted to lose to the best. Larson turned the controversy back on his critics directly in victory lane. Kyle Larson, I hope all the fans that were moaning about us running a prelim now understand why. This was the best-case scenario, and this is exactly why we entered. That line does not settle the argument. One reading, the entry was never greed, it was preparation for a 1-in-100 shot that paid off. The other reading, a driver with a private jet and a full-time Cup ride took a coveted pole away from full-time dirt racers on the assumption he probably would not use it, and it only worked this one time because the weather cooperated. The record book does not resolve it either. This was Larson's 4th Knoxville Nationals title, tied for 4th all-time. It was his 16th career win at Knoxville Raceway and his 40th World of Outlaws win, making him only the 22nd driver ever to reach that number. He is believed to be the only driver to win 4 different features in a single Nationals week. Total earnings for the week topped $212,000, a number critics and supporters both point to as proof of their own argument. The same NASCAR vs. Knoxville collision is scheduled to happen again in 2027, this time against the Bristol night race. The same math, the same fan backlash, and the same impossible logistics are coming back around. Whether Larson enters the pole again, and whether the outcome favors him a second time, remains an open question heading into next year. If breakdowns like this are what you come to this channel for, drop a comment on what you think. Was Larson right to enter, or did he get away with one? A share helps this channel reach 500 subscribers faster, and every subscriber genuinely shapes what gets covered next on NASCAR Racing World. If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next.